Do you have any idea how many platforming games are out there? I know that I don't. I just know that there are a ton of them out there. And unfortunately, most of them are pretty garbage. Today we're going to take a look at Slime-san, a game by the company Fabras. And we're going to take a look and see if this is any different. It is a game I recently received in the monthly Humble Bundle for March, and with a price tag of €12 outside of the Humble Bundle, it is a hefty price for a platformer, I guess, especially for one that looks as basic as it does. So let's see how well it actually is. The first thing you probably notice is the fact that different colors is not really much of an option here. The game calls itself more often than not a 5-bit game, as in there are only 5 colors really, which is green, red, white, blue and black. That is everything you'll see. In addition to that, the gameplay only takes effect in an area of 4x3, which is kind of terrible, I guess, because, well, it's just wasted space. For instance, right now I'm playing and recording in 21:9 resolution, ultra widescreen, and I have the images on the side that you can see that just, well, they're basically a waste of space. So that's kind of unfortunate. But if the gameplay itself is awesome enough, then that should not be a problem. So let's take a quick look at the normal mode first of all. The general thing you'll play, well, if you take a look down here, we have in total 100 stages. And each stage consists of 4 levels. Or rather, well, let's put it a different way around. It's 100 levels and each level has 4 stages. And if we jump into one, very quickly, then you can see that this is basically all you're gonna get. It's a platformer like you've probably seen a lot of them before. You have collectibles that you can, well, collect as you go through the level. You have a time target. And yeah, generally first of all, you have a lot of things that you can do if you're the type of guy or person who likes to complete their games and finish everything within them. That was like a quick level. One of the first, to be fair. And yeah, that instantly shows me, and should probably show you as well, that there's a lot of content just from the main missions going on. So you have the time trial that you can do, you have the apples you can collect, and you have... No, that's it. Those 2 things. Now, if we just look at this, then you can already think that it's kind of enough. But there's actually more. I did not mean to go into this. Let us go to the level select. Once you've actually finished the normal mode, you unlock New Game Plus. And you also unlock Speedrunning Mode and Boss Rush Mode and Twitch Mode. New Game Plus is, well, New Game Plus. It's the same levels, but with new things that will screw up your day. And at this point, we can talk a little bit more about the game mechanics. You are playing a little slime wall, hence the name Slime-san. And you have 2 basic maneuvers. You can jump, and you can dash. And obviously you can move. And you can also make yourself, it's not really invisible, but it's pass-through, which will allow you to pass through green objects, such as this thing here, this platform. And while there's a very basic maneuvers, a platforming game doesn't really need much more than that if they are well executed. And this is where I have to give the game a lot of credit. It is really well executed, to be fair. The controls are responsive as hell. They're exactly how you'd like them to be, at least as far as I'm concerned. Your movement is responsive, and more importantly, it is actually fast. The worst thing, as far as I'm concerned, in a platformer is if it's actually kind of slowish. How do I... Oh. Okay, I'm stuck in the wall. Never mind. That was terrible. And what I mean by that is, well, pretty simple actually. Each level should generally take you a couple of seconds, except maybe the later ones. At least in the normal mode. I'm sure in this mode it's gonna be much sooner that things are gonna be difficult. But that basically means if you do a mistake, the time it takes you to get back to that mistake is pretty small. So you constantly have this... Basically, what these types of games should aim for is have this constant feeling of, come on, let me just do one more stage. And this game does this really, really well. However, there are obviously some downsides to this. It's not a perfect game by any stretch of the imagination. One of the bad things about this game is this type of enemy down there. But that's basically just because I'm too stupid to deal with it. Be this little balloon here on the side that likes to explode when it's near you. But yeah, that is not one of my main gripes with this game. While it does have a lot of different challenges and it introduces a lot of things you have to, well, deal with within the stages, and it does so in a very reasonable amount of time, I guess, what you could say. Like, you generally don't have to deal with the same mechanic over and over again. Instead, it introduces a lot of them very early on, and then mixes them up as you go along through the levels. And it does so in pretty neat ways. As you can see, I'm kind of skipping through these levels, but that doesn't mean that there are a lot of different challenges already to be seen. Basically, the general gist of the game is anything that's red will kill you, and anything that's green is good for you, in some way or another. That works out in, well, basically having to figure out which of the objects that are green have to be manipulated in which way. And just to name some of the obstacles the game throws at you. For instance, in this stage, I'm dealing with gravity, meaning the whole thing is upside down, which takes a while to get used to, but it's not too bad. Also, you can see that there are these just balls, basically. And as you might imagine, when the red balls touch you, you die, and the green balls are your friends, which you can pass through. Or if you forget to change to your pass-through mode, they bounce you all around, which of course can also be helpful if you need to reach higher places. Okay, how do I do this? Another one of the obstacles is this red fellow here that's following me around. His deal is basically he copies every move that you do. That was terrible. And if he catches up to you in any way, you're dead. As usual, he's red, so if he touches you, you're dead. And these are just a couple of all the obstacles you can find in this game. And like I said, there are a lot of them, and a lot of them are really well done. Let's see what the next one has to offer. Okay, more of them. This time around we have like a couple of platforms that are just straight up red or green, which means we can stand on them or, well, respectively, they will kill us. Oh, let's pass through that. Beautiful. And considering we're slime, obviously this is not just something that is... Okay, that was terrible. It is something that also takes an effect in the game, because you have the ability to wall jump, which, again, most platforms do. But it's just in a... I want to say realistic way, when obviously isn't realistic to be like a slime thingy that jumps all around. But it feels kind of natural, to be fair, if that makes any sense whatsoever. What? How did I... Okay, sure, okay. Apparently I touched the height limit or something. Oh yeah. Oh, then I forgot to mention that. You see in the top left a symbol and an arrow. What that indicates is that after a certain amount of time has passed, there's going to be a red wall of death, basically, coming towards you, indicated by the arrow. And that just basically puts you at a time limit in every stage you play. Which unfortunately actually brings me to one of the negative aspects of this game. While it is a very fast and active game which allows you to complete missions or levels or stages rather in a very fast time. Okay, I completely missed that one. It unfortunately also means, because the way these stages are set up, is that if you're struggling with one of the later stages, you can't really quit. Because then you'd have to redo the first 3 stages, which is something that kinda sucks. Having to redo stuff you actually finish is not the best thing. I would have definitely preferred it if the 400 stages were individual levels that you could repeat as you go along. The same problem is something with the speed, well, not just the speedrunning mode, but also the time trial each level has in the normal mode. Because personally, I can't actually or very, very differently. Actually going for the time trials is kind of annoying, especially if you know that you can do the first 3 stages well, but you're just screwing up on the last stage, because that basically means you will have to redo the first 3 stages over and over again, even though you kind of already can do them in a fast enough fashion. Which again is why I would have preferred if these stages would be just on their own. However, the game also unfortunately has another problem when it comes to, let's say, pacing. I think pacing is a good topic for this. There are multiple stages in the normal mode, and I'm sure the difficult mode will only have more of them. That while they are not that difficult, they are just long and tedious. Now, why is that? They work in a way that basically the hard part is not in the beginning. And to reach the hard part, you have to actually just basically wait. Because you're waiting for a platform or something similar to get to the point you want to go to. Now that is something that is absolutely terrible as far as I'm concerned. Because a game like this should not force you to just wait and do more or less nothing. Wait, let's wait a second here. There we go. And luckily so far there are no... Well, luckily it's kind of... What? How did I pass through that? Okay, sure, whatever. So far I couldn't find an example for that, at least in the stages we've played so far. But those exist, and those really take away the fun. When you just want to, like, keep up the speed. Because as you can see, the game is very fast. Dying takes, like, I don't know, a second to get back into the action, which is amazing. It's a beautiful thing. But yeah, there are definitely some parts of the game where you want to continue playing, but the game just forces you to basically waste time, which is never a good thing. Okay, now how do I do this? There we go. Oh boy. Okay, these stages are already getting kinda difficult. I mean, it's New Game Plus, so what do you expect from me, right? There we go. Let's see, next up we have another thing that wants to kill me. We have homing missiles. Also, okay, that was, how did I die at the end there? And also some more monsters that like to... Okay, that like to kill us. And also to save us. Again, green things are there to help you, red things are there to kill you. And in this case, it's just nothing more than a moving platform. But hopefully you can see that there are different amounts, or just a decent enough variety when it comes to the way the game tries to kill you. Now, while I said the controls are fluid, there are certain aspects that seem either glitchy or just difficult to put it. I want to say a little bit floaty, maybe? Like, the general movement is just as fluid as you could expect it to be. And it allows you to do very precise movement. However, the dashing is sometimes a little bit tricky to do when it comes to doing them in certain directions. It feels like sometimes when you want to dash upwards, you actually manage to dash, for instance, to the side, which is not the best thing, but personally I haven't had any situations where that really stopped me from progressing. Also, the game unfortunately has some clipping issues when it comes to... Okay, let me go. Okay, I need to wait on the other platform. Sure. It has some clipping issues when it comes to passing through green walls like the top one here. If you turn to your, I don't know, pass-through mode is what I'm going to call it. Wow, okay, that was terrible. If you turn to your pass-through mode while still being halfway inside of these paths, I don't know what to call them, the game sometimes, well, just makes you kind of stuck inside of it. Which has pretty, well, not pretty often, but often enough to make it noticeable, cost me a run or two. So that's not ideal. But other than that, I have no issues with the controls whatsoever. Something I'll go in a little bit later on is... Okay, that was terrible. As you can expect from a decent platforming game, you have multiple characters to pick from, and this game is no different when it comes to that. You have different members of the slime family that you can use and unlock them by just buying them straight up with the apples, the types of items that you collect as you go through the normal stages. If you're wondering where they are right now, well, they don't exist because I don't have any... No, because I'm playing the hard mode plus. Sometimes the game also has cute little cutscenes. Okay, so let us do stage 10 here. And then we can go on. And actually, very good. It's another thing I can show you. First of all, we have a swimming stage, or underwater level, and we have ghosties. And I've got to say, when I first saw the water level, I was kind of afraid, because generally water levels suck. This game does them very well as far as I'm concerned. The dash allows you to do very precise movement, just enough that you can just do what you would expect to do underwater. Okay, that was actually really quick. Okay, neat. So yeah, and as you go through, again, it's another 5 worlds, I guess, with another 100 levels and, well, 4 stages each. I did not need to go over here. Now, what do we have as well? We have the speedrunning mode, which actually I haven't touched yet, so let's see. Let's just do... Sure. Aha, okay, this time we are actually playing... Are we playing as the normal slime? I'm not quite sure. No, I don't think we are. So... Oh, okay, sure, I had to collect the apples. Yeah, if you want to go for even more challenges, or in fact just straight up speedrun this game, then this is the mode for you, I guess. Personally, it's not my type of thing. I'd just rather finish all the levels and maybe collect all the items there are. But then, yeah, again, like I said, the time trial for the stages are, to me personally, terrible because of the way that you have 4 stages in each level. So let me grab that one. And then let's see how far I can actually go here. Now come on, let me get up. Sometimes movement feels a little bit finicky, but yeah, like I said, you generally have enough momentum and movability to do exactly what you want to do. To be fair though, it kind of depends also on the character that you pick, because the one I have now is one character that is a little bit faster, a little bit smaller, but jumps a little bit more, let's say, inaccurate. But I found him to be the most fun character, just because you can go even a little bit faster than you would normally do. So yeah, I've played like, I want to say like 50% just with this character alone. And I'm kind of surprised so far that I did it without dying. Let's see how far I can actually go here. Now when it comes to playtime for just the normal mode, I think I'm like up to something like 3 or 4 hours. Maybe even more. Might actually be quite a bit more now that I think about it. So yeah, these stages definitely take a while to get through them. What? Where am I? Okay. Okay, that was a close one. Oh boy. Let's see, what else do we get here? Oh yeah, I remember this stage. This was a terrible stage for me in the beginning. Because you have to manage your pass-through mode just right. There we go. What else do we have? Do we else have something interesting here to show? I think not. Oh, okay. But maybe if you remember the stages I showed you earlier. Like I said, what I showed you off earlier was the hard mode, which is basically the same stages. However, this time around, there are less obstacles that you have to survive through. Oh boy. Okay, that was that. Neat. Thank you very much. Then we have extras. Boss rush mode. New game plus? No, thank you. Each world ends with one boss, and I'm only going to show you one right now. While they do work in a very nice fashion, they oh yeah, now I remember what to do with this one. Unfortunately, they suffer, at least the later bosses, suffer from being too long, I guess, without any checkpoints. Which unfortunately means that, well, while each boss has like multiple stages, generally it's 3, if you fail on one of the later stages, you have to redo all of them again, which is especially frustrating. Okay, sure. Let's do that again without the red shadow, just so I can show you off like one boss here. Yeah, that is especially frustrating because some of the later bosses take quite a while to get to the later stages, and while that on its own is not really their problem, once you figure out how to beat like stage 1 or 2 of a boss fight, having to redo them all over again is just tedious. Because once you figure out the correct pattern, it is just so easy, really. It is really difficult to fuck it up. So then having to sit through all of that again and again and again and again is not a good thing at all. What happened here again? Yeah, go eat red. Go eat lava. No, not yet? Okay. Now? Bloop, 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 bloop. Okay, he's dead, and this is the second one, which I'm not gonna fight. So yeah, that is that mode, basically. Then we have a Twitch mode, in which you can actually make your viewers on Twitch influence the game through chat votes, which I have no idea how that works. I can understand if that's something you want to do. Personally, I haven't, and I don't think I ever will. And actually, where's my... Okay, there we go. Okay, control-wise, well, I haven't mentioned it before. It does offer, obviously, mouse and keyboard and controller functionality. I haven't really tried much with the keyboard because, well, this type of game is something you play with a controller as far as I'm concerned. But it does work with the keyboard. The couple of levels that I did do with that, I had no problems really with maneuvering my little slime son. Now, something that this game does really well, actually, is kind of the overworld. What do I mean by overworld? The way you change characters in this game is not just a normal menu. It is in fact a shop inside of the town. For instance, or not just for instance, which is this one here. And here you can unlock different characters with the apples, as I said earlier, and each one does a little bit different things. This one is faster, always dashing, but can't be still. That's the regular playstyle. And yeah, you can just play around a bit, find the one you like the most. You can also change the artwork in the background, which I guess is kind of useful in some ways, so at least you have something nice to look at on the side. If you go a little bit further, you can also decorate your slime and your little birdie bird. I don't have enough apples yet to buy all of those. If we go even a bit further even, which is something I unfortunately cannot show you because I don't have them yet, there are also coins. In fact, in total there are at least 15 secret stages, and each secret stage gives you a coin. You can see one in the top right next to the apple counter. And with 3 of them you can unlock like these mini games here, which like I said I haven't done because I've only found one of them. I also have this little kind of neat way to show you your statistics, which shows that I've got like 57% of the game so far. And what are these things again? Oh yeah, kind of a tutorial basically. Yeah. And then we also have backstory characters in some way or another. This is basically Slime Sun's town, and it changes after you finish the game because of reasons. And each character is actually someone you can talk with, which is kind of neat. But personally, I haven't done it for too much, because at the end of the day, most of them are just gimmicky things they say. I don't know. If it's your type of humor, or you want to know more about the Slime Sun family, then this is the place to go. Yeah, one neat little thing. Let me just quickly over here, just to show you a little Easter egg, because why not? There's a bonfire you can lit. Because why not? Right? And one last thing, as you go through the... No, that's wrong. As you go through the missions, you unlock different other locations that... Honestly, I have no really idea what they are, but I will say that they are quite well made. The graphics are obviously something that it's gonna be a hit or miss for people. But regardless of that, the way these stages are, or these special stages are drawn, or... Yeah, I'm gonna go with the drawn. It's actually kinda cool. So yeah, let's hop back into like one more here real quick. And what can we do now? We can listen to the music. Now 8-bit music is obviously something that is also got to be a hit or miss, just like the graphics for this game. Personally though, as someone who likes 8-bit music enough, I'm gonna say that this soundtrack is really good. The most important thing about a soundtrack for a game like this is obviously to keep you pumped and make you want to keep going. And this game does just that. It offers enough variety to, while let you remember all the songs, also find something new after at least every world. How do I do that? What? But not just after every world, and also compared to different stages and boss fights. So yeah, you can listen to the music right now. It's upbeat enough to make you want to keep going, which is again the most important thing of the music in a game like this. Okay, so can I just... Okay, these ghosts are not harmful as long as I don't change my form. Wow, that was actually pretty quick. And that is basically Slime Sun. It is a simple game, definitely, but it is a well-executed game. If you can look past the art style, arguably also the music, And the fact that it's just 4 to 3, I have no idea why they decided to go for 4 to 3. No idea whatsoever why that's the case. But if you can look past these things, and you want to just play a good, nice, little responsive platformer game. Okay, that's a stage with platformers, sure, let's just get out of here. That's not gonna work. Then Slime Sun is definitely a game for you. I really can recommend this game. It's a very good platformer. It's one of the platformers in recent times to me personally, where I actually feel like I want to go continue playing even after finishing the normal mode. Which I honestly have no idea when the last time was that happened. It's been a while. And while I personally am not the biggest fan of the artwork, it works. It works as in you can distinguish what you have to see and what you have to notice, and what is dangerous and what is good for you. So overall, definitely a recommendation. Pricing of €12 is definitely justified for all the amounts of content you have in this game. And again, if you're looking for a nice little platformer, this is definitely a good game to buy. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Take care.